Several cars are involved. Looks like we might be one of the Ferraris.
My name is James Hunt. My father is a stockbroker, my sister is a barrister, and my brother is an accountant. And I do this.
I think one of the keys to a character-driven movie like this is if the characters grab you.
James Hunt, he was a superstar. He was a sporting legend. We've had very few Formula One world champions, but he was a particularly conspicuous and glorious example of one.
Driver of the year, here's James Hunt.
Reading about him and watching interviews, he was like, I'm doing this my way, and this is because I'm the one out there.
James was this amazing kind of golden boy, vagabond, incredibly exciting, spontaneous character.
And had the talent to go like hell and compete. He was very aggressive. Niki Lauda described him as a charger. And for that reason, the press loved him, and the women loved him, and the guys envied him, including Lauda.
This season's fight for the Formula One World Championship has so far been the story of two men. Niki Lauda and James Hunt side by side.
The film tracks right up until the end of the 1976 season, where the rivalry with Niki Lauda and James Hunt comes to a dramatic head. But Niki Lauda today will say that James is one of the people he respected the most, and James did wonderful things about him. And I think in amongst that appreciation and respect for each other also came the butting of heads.
There's no question they were the ones pushing each other, and they were willing to risk their lives.
Niki's perspective on racing was, all drivers are good, you get your edge with the car. James's perspective was, all drivers are good, but some of them are frightened.
I spoke to one of James's teammates, and he recalls a conversation he had with James one time where he said, God, James, those first two laps of the race, you were all over the place, you know, and James just said, I can never remember the first two laps. It's like he's that much adrenaline going.
James, at the moment you've got a terrific edge over the rest of the field. How have you achieved this advantage?
Big balls.
James Hunt was a fascinating paradox because he had all this relaxed bravado, and yet everybody who knew him knew that there was a competitive fire and an anxiety fueled by fear of the possibility of death, but more fear of failure. And this has really given Chris Hemsworth a fantastic acting opportunity to bring a character who's that enigmatic and paradoxical to the screen.
The closer you are to death, the more alive you feel. It's a wonderful way to live. It's the only way to drive.